Jaime.
Hey, Martha. Concerns about anti-Semitism in Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's upcoming administration are building. The Anti-Defamation League out with new examples, claiming Mamdani's transition committee appointees attended anti-Israel encampments on college campuses and posted anti-Semitic rhetoric on social media. For example, one person on Mamdani's Committee for Worker Justice posted on October 8th, so this is just hours after Hamas's October 7th attack, writing, quote, "Resistance are justified when people are occupied." The new report finds 20% of Mamdani's 400-plus appointees have ties to anti-Zionist groups. But Mamdani says there's an important distinction to be made here.
We must distinguish between anti-Semitism and criticism of the Israeli government. The ADL's report oftentimes ignores this distinction, and in doing so, it draws attention away from the very real crisis of anti-Semitism we see not only just in our city, but in the country at large.
But the ADL writes in its report, quote, "To be clear, ADL has long distinguished between legitimate criticism of Israeli government policies and anti-Semitism." Now, this comes just days after Mamdani's director of appointments resigned after the ADL found that she wrote, "Money-hungry Jews."
People, there are some things I'm not going to play in relation to Mamdani. You guys probably remember I did a video. In fact, I've done several videos on the New York mayor. He takes position and center stage. New Year's night, Bernie Sanders and AOC, one of them, both of them, who knows, gonna swear him in. And what I said in one of the things that I brought up in my video was that he better enjoy the honeymoon. I just had a feeling that the way things were shaking out and how he got up in there, which I do believe was a plan. I think that Cuomo was just planted to give the impression that there was a run, because I believe they have plans with Mamdani. It might not be long term. It could be short. But I believe they have a plan. I believe things are orchestrated. New York is a very strange state. It's a strange environment. When I say by strange, I get this dark spiritual feel. I've been there a few times and I've always felt that, like a gloom over it. It might be because they're the banking or the United Nations. I don't know, pick your poison. But I didn't think that Mamdani would be able to just waltz right in without some stones being thrown, or if he's on a ladder, alligators at the bottom. If he's trying to get to the top, he's got drones staring him right in the face. So here we are again. He's had, what they say, 20%? 20% of the people surrounding him, it was found that anti-Semitism. I don't think he better leave that down. I don't think he can. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Friend Shy Pearson. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. And I have the 23rd. Come on, Santa Claus. Let's get busy. It's 7 p.m. Let's go a little bit deep into this thing, because I have some comments to make, okay? Okay. Oh, Mandela. What's that, Chris Tucker?
And right, Bill, the mayor-elect and the world-renowned authority on bigotry apparently can't see eye to eye when it comes to anti-Semitism. Yes, as you remember, last week, Mamdani took quick action over the social media post of one of his appointees, but on this, he's standing his ground. Zohran Mamdani says his Transition Advisory Committee is as diverse as the city itself, with a wide variety of opinions. but there's a limit.
There's no tolerance for anti-Semitism.
The committee is advising the incoming administration. But tonight, the Anti-Defamation League says 20% of the committee's 400 members should raise red flags. The sheer number of individuals with a history of concerning behavior or associations. Individuals who have engaged in some type of anti-Semitic, anti-Zionist, or anti-Israel activities and or have ties to groups that engage in such activities. The group...
Now, let me say this to you guys. When you're in politics, you got to think about your past. And you've got to think about your associations. And you've got to think about the people that you select. And I suspect that's why a lot of people don't run for office. Come on. Because, you know, the media has a feast day, and so will your opponent. And sometimes you don't live that down. You just, you constantly putting out fires. If Mamdani goes into this thing with this kind of heat on him, the first 6 months, baby, I tell you, it's gonna get hard. It's gonna be hard to get something done. I hinted at it in a few videos. You guys probably remember that once you have this kind of climate, and New York has a big footprint, if you will, of Jewish representation and a lot of money and a lot of power, you got to be careful how you tread. And that would go with any culture, whatever city or state or town you're in. I remember when I was a little boy, I'm crazy about cathedrals and churches. I just love the art. I remember looking up at the top of the cathedral one day, and it said, "Know before who thou standest." You got to know where you at and what it's about before you get to running your mouth, because it could cost you. So, you know, there is no perfect candidate. There's no perfect squad, so to speak, of personnel. But, you know, at least he reacted, and people did resign. And I think the majority of the people who did resign, they resigned under their own recognizance. But I want to go a little bit deeper as I show this film. But see, he didn't help himself. I'm going to say it again. Mamdani did not help himself. I believe the powers have all this in a scenario, but I'm going to say it anyway. When he said that if the leader of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, if he comes to town, he said he's going to have him arrested. Well, I said in my video that that's not his fight. Can you imagine him showing up at the airport or showing up in front of the United Nations and having Benjamin Netanyahu arrested? Baby, this ain't no, this is not a regular person. I'm being careful with my words. This is not your everyday politician. You're not going to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu and think that you are going to go and run New York City and think that there isn't a plan, like I said before, plan B, C, and D, all the way down to Z. You're not going to do that, Mamdani. And so what I said is that he created an atmosphere where people, let's be honest, I mean, sometime when there's a slow media day, this is what you're going to hear in New York. And, you know, politics is a dirty game. This might not be all that has been said or done or whatever. Let me just say this to you. If you got something on somebody, I'm just going to say alleged, but if you know something about somebody, it don't have to be you. It could be somebody in your cabinet. Then the mayor is compromised all day. He's compromised all day. A lot of things he want to get done, he's not going to get done because they didn't have a little backroom deal talk with him. And also they can throw him a few bones and say, look, you do this, 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 then you'll get this, this, this. And if you don't do this, 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 then I need you to do me a favor and do this, this, this. Or we will microscope this thing and you'll never know when you wake up in the morning what hits you in the news, okay? So I'm wishing him well, but you don't go messing with that Middle East. Your constituents in New York, that's your priority. That political climate. Your budget, your transportation, whatever you can do in terms of their welfare, jobs, environment, police, fire, crime. That's what your focus is. He ain't even spent one day as the mayor, and he's already stretched over the river, down the creek, playing Jacques Cousteau on one end, and name the astronaut, Glenn, whoever. That's an amateur move. I don't care what nobody. That's an amateur move. You got to be real seasoned and respected as a governor and a mayor in America before you go stretching out on international things, okay? Just wasn't a good move. Now, let me play what he said back in the day. And then he re-emphasized it because they gave him a few more chances before the election. Hey, did you really mean what you said? Are you going to change your mind? Well, evidently it didn't hurt him. But like I said, I think it was rigged. But those who not in on the alleged rig, think about what I'm trying to tell you.
As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu.
And Mayor Mamdani, would he welcome Prime Minister Netanyahu to New York City for whatever he comes for, given the US is not a signatory to the ICC, so he can travel to the US, unlike a lot of other countries. Would a Mayor Mamdani welcome Benjamin Netanyahu to the city?
No. As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a city that our values are in line with international law. It's time that our actions are also. As mayor...
Now, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. You know Benjamin Netanyahu got a squad. Look, if anybody got a squad, he got a squad, man. Come on. And look, when you play this game, this is chess. Or maybe even deeper than that. You already told the man what you gonna do. So he coming prepared. He coming prepared. Soon as them toes hit New York Airport, the man prepared. You ain't walking up on him. You not walking up on him. And you think Donald J. Trump gonna let you? Come on, man. Come on. Now let's make up this scenario. It's all game, but we gonna go there. Do you think Donald J. Trump is gonna let this man punk him out like that? Come on, man. No. It would have to be rigged, man. No. Next chapter. Come on. Now let's throw some gematria on this. He got a very strange birthday. His birthday is October 18th, 1991. October 18th. Oops, there it is. Like Luke 10:18. I'll never forget his birthday. So I took 10/18/2025 from today's date. Right there. And it gave me 66. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. What does it mean? I don't know. Might not mean nothing. I took 11/4/2025, the day he was, I think that was the day that he ran. It was the election day. November 4th, 2024. My bad. What you doing, Pearson? No, it was this year. 11/4/2025. Subtracted from today, and they gave me 50 days. There it is right there. Now that's 50 states. To me, that's 50 states. I've been looking at 50 a lot ever since last year. Joe Biden passed 50 laws, remember? One of which he made the bald eagle our national bird. The CEO of United Healthcare was unalived allegedly by Luigi, who's in New York jail, the same jail/prison that Diddy is at. That CEO from United Healthcare, he was 50 years old. There seems to be a lot of 50s thrown out there. So I believe this is 50 states symbolically, because we're going into a one world system. And all 50 states are going to transform with that system. And New York is known for money. And I believe every state will follow suit if New York goes that way. Just want you to think about this. Now, Israel became a nation May 14th, 1948. Hello. Take that date, 2025 anniversary from today, you get 7/9. Oh, it's deep. Here it is right here. Look at this here. Look at that date. May 14th, 2025, anniversary of Israel becoming a nation versus today's date, 10/23/2025. The difference is 79. Well, what's 79? Let me get this glow out the way. Have to roll without that. Look at that. May 14th, 2025, Israel's anniversary. Then today's date, the difference is 7 months, 9 days. Well, who's 79 years old? Trump. You think that's coincidence, y'all? I don't think so. Then look, New York became part of the United States on July 26, 1788. There you go. Now let's take that date in relation to today's date. Oops, there it is. December, today, 23rd, July 26, 2026, next birthday of New York. The difference is 216. What if I told you the 216th day of the year is August 4th? That's Barack Obama's birthday. See, a lot of this stuff, the 216th day of the year is August 4th being Barack Obama's birthday. I believe Barack Obama is the Antichrist. Mamdani, his birthday is October 18th. That's Luke 10:18 in my book. I'm not saying that's him, but I'm just saying it lines up. Luke 10:18. Boom. We know from scripture that the Antichrist will be possessed by Satan. What a bizarre situation that we could possibly have brewing here in New York. Let me know what you think. Again, he spoke on an international level. He should never have even talked like that. He could have gave his opinion about the Israeli conflict, Palestinian, and just stayed neutral. But you see how extreme he went right away? Let me say this to you guys. That's called extreme response. Because when you go and there's nowhere else to go, then there is nowhere else to go. If he had just stayed neutral and just gave his opinion on both and, never took a side, then you can always have an opinion or just be quiet. But his first priority is New York, New York. But now he's dipped his toes in this international. And don't you think that with the next 4 years, Benjamin Netanyahu ain't planning to come to New York? He might come sometime in January. This Mamdani may not even have an administration. Well, Pearson, explain yourself. People, put it in the comment section. I don't know if this has ever been done, that a mayor, I want you to wrap your mind around this. I've never seen a mayor go and arrest an international leader. Hello? I don't think it's wise. I think he'll be in a living hell and will probably have to move out of New York. Just pack his bags and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm not gonna serve. I think New York would turn on him. I think New York, and I'm not saying the Jewish people. What I'm saying, I think there would be so much pushback, so much controversy, that if he arrests that man, if he get through his squad, that he would have nothing but turmoil in trying to get anything done going forward. Thus, he'll have to resign. Think about what I'm saying.